Good morning, everyone. I'm out for a little walk. I'm actually at a different place. I'm getting ready to go to Sunday school and church here. So I figured I'd come out early and work on a video. It's quiet other than the animals. You can hear a rooster back there crowing. So we're going to talk about Revelation 12. And once again, just like all the chapters when we read them, if they're not talking about the same thing as the previous chapters, chances are it's another vignette that's covering a period of time during the tribulation. Sometimes it will tell you this is going to last for, it mixes the time frames up. It's either, in days or in months, but it's basically 3.5 years for each thing that's going on. And that's okay. I'm trying to find a place where I can sit. I didn't bring my tripod. I've got my phone holder here so I can walk around, but when I sit down, and we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. Since this is church, I brought my paper-bound. Find a church that needs you if you don't have one. Yeah, maybe it's not right because you're not there. I think I'm just going to go by over these steps over here where I can sit down and read. I will put my glasses on. Okay. Where's the sun at? Got a plane flying over me. Well, Revelation 12 we're pretty much familiar with, if nothing more than for the Revelation 12 sign. And we believe that happened in September 2017. It's been 7 years this fall. 7's a number of completion. So that means the Feast of Trumpets this fall will be 7 years. Is that a time for completion? This fall will be interesting. We've been watching for the rapture and other, things to happen ever since then. The Antichrist is due on the scene. Everything's getting set up. He's working with the harlot to get the world set up the way he wants it. And then eventually, he'll get rid of the harlot and take over. It will not be pleasant down here. We see some of the players. The World Economic Forum is one of them. They've stated, you will own nothing and be happy. That's communism. They want the population reduced by 80% because they don't want you going out and doing anything. They just want the service industries out there to be manned. If they want to fly to Paris and have lunch, they need people there to wait on them. If they're going to take a taxi from the airport or a limo, they need a limo driver. That's it. They don't want any more people than are necessary to cater to their will, I guess. So they're going to find ways to get rid of us. And we saw in the seals that 1/4 of the population is eliminated. And the trumpets, 1/3 from there. That's almost half the population. They're getting in that general direction. And we're going to see more examples. People are driving by here. The church doesn't open for a little while. I'm here early so I can do what I'm doing. Well, I'm going to see if I can get my Bible up where I can read it. Got to put my glasses on. So turn with me to Revelation 12. I decided to try to keep this much of my beard, so I shaved the rest, but if I don't have to go back to work, I'm going to let this grow out. I may have to still shave it one more time or so, because if they want me to come back to work, I got to look the same. Okay, so Revelation 12. Let me put this here and see if I can read. Now a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and in her head a garland of 12 stars. Then being with child, she cried out in labor pain to give birth. Okay, we've seen that. The constellation is Virgo. The 12 stars over her head, there's only 9. The additional stars were added as planets who got in alignment. Now, it's happened before, but there's no, I only know of one time where they were in an arc that would match a crown. If they're scattered all over the place, I don't consider that a true sign. But they were in an arc. Oh, I'm smelling the flowers next to me. Where are we? There we are. Ah, beautiful smell this morning for that. So we've seen that sign. And Jupiter, when it went out in its orbit, it goes all the way out and then comes right back. It's so far out that it looks like it's just traveling in a circle. It's in retrograde. It goes out and comes back. It got into this belly, the body part of Virgo, and so it went out, stayed in there, and came back. This is a definite sign. Now, what's it a sign for? We're not really sure. But it's a sign that things are getting started. Does that mean the tribulation? Does that mean the rapture? Well, it certainly means the tribulation, and the rapture is pre-trib, so we can relate that. Okay. That was Revelation 12:1. Now, Revelation 12:3. And another sign appeared in heaven. I'm going to get some signs here. You ask for a sign? Well, here's signs. And another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great fiery red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 diadems on his head. His tail drew 1/3 of the stars of heaven and threw them to earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was ready to give birth, to devour her child as soon as it was born. Satan's tried this before. He tried to get rid of Jesus too. She bore a male child to rule all nations with a rod of iron. Well, this is not history. This was after the temple was destroyed around 90 AD. The temple was destroyed in 70. As he's writing this, he's looking into the future. Jesus has already come and gone from earth. This is future. Now, if it wasn't future, we'd be talking about Jesus being the male child to rule the nations, and Satan did try to kill him. But when he comes back for the millennium, he's going to rule for 1,000 years with a rod of iron. Who's going to be with him? The saints. So we're coming back. So we're the ones that are going to be ruling with the rod of iron with Jesus. And so it continues, and her child was caught up to God and his throne. The word there is harpazo. That's definitely a rapture. Now, which rapture is it? It seems to be the pre-trib rapture. I don't see how it could be the first one. I mean, the second one. Because the second one's the 2 witnesses and the 144,000. This seems to be the first one. Then the woman fled into the wilderness, where she is had a place prepared by God that they should feed her 1,260 days. Again, a reference to 3.5 years. Okay, so that's Revelation 12. It covers the sign which we've seen, and it covers a rapture. It's an important chapter, and the one that I like more than the rapture. And the war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought. but they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast with him. Satan lives in heaven. He's got a condo up there. He comes down here to torment us, but goes home to heaven. He doesn't want to live down here either. He's finally forced to. He's going to be mad, though, after this. But we won't be here, because we just saw that there's a rapture. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now salvation, strength, and the kingdom of God, and the power of Christ has come. For the accuser of our brethren, who accused them before God day and night, by being in heaven, Satan goes and complains to God every day about us. But Jesus up there, our advocate, our defense attorney, he pleads our cases for us, and we don't have to worry about it. He's been cast down, and they overcome him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they did not love their lives to the death. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you will dwell in them. You will dwell in the heavens. Woe to the inhabitants of earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows his time is short. So this is his 15 minutes of fame. So he's going to use it. Now when the dragon saw that he had been cast to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male child, the woman being Jerusalem. But the woman who was given 2 wings with a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness to her place, where she is nourished for a time, and half a time. Another way of saying 3.5 years. So the serpent spewed water out of his mouth like a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood. It's desert, so flooding is supernatural. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the flood that the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. And the dragon was enraged with the woman. He's got to be fit to be tied at this point. And he went to make war with the rest of her offspring, who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. This is a busy chapter, and I'm going to conclude it here. We don't know exactly when this starts or ends, but it appears to start early, and it appears to end in the first half. Now we're going to see coming up in 13 through 18 are again happening during the tribulation time frame. There will be wars going on, but it's going to be spiritual wars fought in a physical way down here on earth. The harlot will be destroyed. And the harlot, basically, that's the 7 kings / 8. The 7th king dies and comes back as the 8th king. That's the resurrected Antichrist. And when he gets and he's a king before he's taken over by the Apollyon, by the beast from the depth, the bottomless pit. So he's doing his damage before. And he's going to give you your 7 years of peace. Yeah, what we just read, does that sound like 7 years of peace? Doesn't to me. All right. We're going to continue Revelation until we get to the end. We won't really get a reprieve until 21, I think it is. 21 is where we get the New Jerusalem. In 20, Satan is bound for the 1,000 years. I guess we can call that a reprieve. But the next few chapters are continuing with this onslaught. So be prepared. till we meet in the clouds. God bless.